Boeing's year just went from bad to worse. The safety of its planes are being called into question after a series of incidents. An investigation is underway over the latest incident. Several passengers say that they were thrown around the cabin on a flight traveling from Sydney to Auckland. People on board said the plane made a violent drop and it felt like being on a roller coaster. Officials say that it was caused by a technical problem. One passenger said he spoke to the pilot.
And then the pilot came to the back. And I said to him, I said, "What happened?" And he said, my instruments, I just lost them. He goes, just for a few seconds, they went blank.
All right, for more, let's bring in Captain Shem Malmquist. He is a visiting instructor at the Florida Institute of Technology and also a Boeing 777 captain as well. He's also the author of Grounded, How to Solve the Aviation Crisis. Sir, thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate it. We just heard one passenger describe how the pilot came out and said the instruments just went blank. Do we know what happened here, and how concerned should we be?
Well, we definitely at this point do not know what happened. There are several different possibilities. Some could involve the flight control, such as happened several years back to a Boeing 777 off the coast of Australia. Also an Airbus, actually, A330 in the same location or very close to that same location. And those were both flight control anomalies causing pitch changes. But it's also possible that there was some type of instrument issue or some other factor. We really do not have enough information at this point other than what the pilot reported or what was reported that the pilot said.
I also want to touch on this. Earlier this year, a door plug on a 737 MAX 9 plane blew out right in mid-flight. And just yesterday, the FAA announced that they had found problems at Boeing's manufacturing plant. The FAA warned that those problems really did need to be corrected by late May, or they may be shut down. And so I ask, should they be worried if they're flying on a Boeing plane?
Well, at this point, in my own opinion, I'm not concerned about flying an airplane. There are some issues. It seems apparent at this point that we're looking at cultural factors that affect the entire operation. But in general, the aircraft are still very safe. And despite some of these issues, I personally would have no problems about flying on any of the airplanes.
Do you think any of this will possibly impact passengers, maybe flight delays or maybe the cost of flights? Will they go up because of all of this?
Well, potentially, yes, depending on what happens and what actions happen. If FAA is not satisfied and some of the aircraft end up being grounded for some period of time, that is going to reduce capacity, and reductions of capacity will generally be reflected in ticket prices. So I would not be surprised to see that, particularly in light of how tight the system is right now. Airplanes are already at maximum capacity. Everything is full. And so it really does not take very much to push ticket prices up.
Shem, can you put this into context for us? Obviously, this is very concerning to a lot of people that something like this would happen during a flight. But how common is this?
Well, fortunately, it really is not common. There's different factors that can lead to aircraft. Something like just happened with the airplane suddenly apparently pitching over or losing altitude. Generally, that has to do with unexpected encounters with turbulence, and that is an ongoing factor with particularly climate change increasing the number of cases or the significance of the weather. We can expect to see increases for that type of factor. In terms of flight control problems, these are much more rare, fortunately. There is extensive testing that is done prior to the aircraft being certified and flying. And every once in a while, things do happen in service. We've seen this over the years with these newer airplanes that have a lot of electronic controls. A lot of this and understanding how the electronics work and even conducting the hazard analysis requires some different methods than have been used in the past.
Sir, thank you so much for your time today and for your insights. We really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for your time.